Anna pushes through her days with no expectations. Until now. Let's see where fate sends her. While Kimmy frolicked on the beach, Anna continued her work. She oversaw every aspect of the renovations to the buildings and landmarks in her town. She absolutely loved the group of women who chose to open the Mountain 7. 2 seasoned chefs and several veteran servers had turned the place into a welcoming place for all the travelers and new residents of the area. The jobs they didn't really enjoy in their mortal life were now their passion. They went the extra mile to make everyone feel like family. They greeted everyone by name upon arrival, and if they didn't know their names, they would by the end of the meal. Patricia and Emily were locals. Janice was from New York, and Dawn was from Georgia. The younger crew members were Amelia, Chelsea, Brittany, and Miley. Anna loved them all. She knew it was time to make the trip to the farm. She was feeling a little off lately, and Renee encouraged her to go. The fresh blood always rejuvenated her, so she was ready. On the morning of September 6, she woke with no idea this day would forever change her life. Renee and Anna drank their morning coffee and had a light breakfast. Then they decided to take the bikes up the mountain to the farm. Anna had learned to ride on a small dirt bike and eventually grew into the purple Harley she now sported. It was a Softail with a Springer front end. Renee decided that she would learn to have something else to do together. Her bike of choice was a pearl white Road King, with angel wings painted on the tank. The two wore their leathers and gloves, but didn't see a need for the cumbersome helmets the mortals had worn. Anna liked to feel the wind whipping through her hair, even if she did eat a bug or two along the way. Renee always sported her 80s shades like in the Air Force movies way back when. Both women were breathtaking, no matter what they chose to wear. But this gear made them seem as dangerous and exciting as Anna wished they were. Renee packed all the needed gear in her saddlebags. She had water, snacks, and some extra clothes, just in case they got anything on themselves during the feed. Sometimes Anna felt terrible for the donors, but she knew none of this was avoidable. They had sealed their fate a long time ago. She went, she fed, and she left. They were nothing more than fuel for her engine. Renee had a particular donor that she chose every time she fed. Anna did not. She always tried to pick someone strong and healthy so as not to cause any ill effects for them. Anna wasn't proud of it, but once, she chose a donor simply for the look of defiance on his face. As her grandmother would say, he was rude and loud and downright too big for his britches. She brought him down a notch or two. She was just as rude and rough and unwilling to bend as he was. Anytime Anna came to feed, he conveniently was nowhere to be found. She looked too because she didn't feel quite as guilty draining that asshat. As Renee and Anna pulled through the gate at Virginia Eco Farm number 3, they found a really shady place to park. They walked to the entrance, and Anna realized it never ceased to amaze her. The farm was indeed dome-shaped. It was massive in size. She didn't know how many acres it covered, but she knew it was a lot. It was way up in the mountain on National Forest land. The council had camouflaged the entire dome to perfection within the trees. If one didn't know it was there, they would never know, despite its size. There was one way in and one way out as far as Anna knew. There was always someone operating the gate, and immortals were asked to sign in and sign out. A number was assigned to each donor, and the immortals had to add it to their exit sheet. The council did try to prohibit donor use to 2 times a week, so the numbers helped with that. Anna noticed a familiar face at the gate. Her friend Rose stood as beautifully as a statue, just staring at the gate. "What in the world, Rose?" Anna squealed. "Anna!" Rose yelled. Anna gathered Rose to her and hugged her tightly. Even though the immortals' appearances never changed, Anna could see that Rose was weak. Rose had one of the saddest love stories Anna had ever heard. She didn't know how she had even survived the pain of it. Rose had a mortal love many decades before, and he had no desire to become immortal. Even though Rose begged him until his dying day, he refused her gift. He was the same as Kat. He wanted to be free of this life and move on to the next. He always told Rose that the only kindness he ever received in this world had been from her. They loved each other completely and openly. He never judged her for her immortal life, nor did he envy it. Rose held his hand in the cabin they shared until he took his last breath. She never had and would never be free of the pain. Even if she could never break free to the great beyond, a piece of her had gone. Her love took her heart when he flew to glory. Anna always hoped Rose would feel better, but judging by how she looked, she wasn't doing very well. Anna and Rose sat and caught up on their lives. Anna told her all their plans and offered her a place in her little town. Rose was very interested and said she would think about it. Anna told Rose she thought being around family would help her. Rose seemed to agree. Anna was excited for her to see everything she had done. Rose seemed depressed and lethargic, which bothered Anna. She made a point to get a definitive time and date that Rose would come to Oakview. "Okay, let's go inside and get you some nourishment. You are looking a little peaked," Anna said. "Let's do it," Rose said. The man at the gate was at least 6'3" and had long limbs and a perfect build. His hair was long and black, and he looked to be of Native American descent. The ink that adorned his body was faded and barely visible from many years of sun and abuse, yet he was breathtaking in his own way. He was everything someone would picture a Native American to be. He was a beautiful example of the race. "Hi, Tom. So wonderful to see you," Renee said, leaning in to place a kiss on his cheek. "Beauty, always my pleasure. You look lovely as always," Tom answered. Thank you. You remember my daughter Anna?" Renee asked. "Of course. So wonderful to see you, pretty lady," Tom said. Anna leaned in and kissed his cheek as well. Renee introduced Rose, and Tom seemed quite taken by her. She paid him little attention. As was protocol, the three ladies signed in and gave a wave to Tom as they went inside. No matter how many times Anna walked into the gates of a farm, she always felt like a visitor at a petting zoo. It was still uncomfortable, even after all this time. Finally, Renee and Anna agreed to meet at 4 o'clock at the gate. Anna made sure Rose had her telephone number securely in her back pocket, and she confirmed their visit one more time. Renee knew precisely where to find her regular donor. Rose seemed to have a destination in mind, but Anna did not. She would stroll about, as always, until she stumbled into someone. Anna enjoyed the beauty of the farm. The council made sure everything was perfectly maintained. The plants inside the dome served several purposes. They provided oxygen and food, and humans used them for medicinal purposes if the need arose. The immortals took excellent care of their flock, but the humans wanted to feel in control in some small way. They only asked immortals for help when they had exhausted all other choices. There grew gigantic gardens to feed themselves, even though the food was provided. They tended to animals and utilized their milk, eggs, and meat. There was an innate need to be self-sufficient. Immortals were impressed by the humans' ingenuity. Very few, if any, humans remained who had lived free in the world. It seemed to be only folklore. Human parents told stories to the children, but the humans believed they had been saved due to the kindness of the immortals. They thought they would have all died if not for the farms the immortals created to protect them. It was a half-truth, Anna knew, but it was still half a lie. The humans were programmed to feel grateful and indebted to the immortals. If the immortals instilled fear into the hearts of the humans, they were easier to control. If the immortals could wipe every memory of life outside the farm, they would. At the beginning of the farm's use, some unruly humans tried to escape. These people were dealt with quickly and with no mercy. It was a dangerous precedent to set to allow any form of defiance. It was simply not allowed. Over time, the humans accepted their fates and were compliant, willing donors. The entire dome structure was a 2-foot plexiglass-like material. Tiny wires ran through the surface, and electricity pulsed through the cables. It took only a few humans to die on its cover for the others to understand there was no way out. Groups tried to storm the gate several times, but even a group was no match for the gatekeeper. He begged them to stand down. He was really tired, but they did not stop. He took the actions required by the council in the event of such an occurrence. 16 donors died that day on their first attempt. Each subsequent event resulted in more deaths. Over time, humans learned it was nothing more than suicide to try the gate. If death was the goal, the gatekeeper was more than glad to oblige. Anna stopped to admire a vast rose garden. She had never seen so many varieties in her life. There were all sizes and colors to admire. Some roses were tiny, and some blossoms were the size of her hand. She smelled each one's fragrance and was intoxicated by its aroma. She sat on a bench inside the garden and thought of all the hard work that went into its design. Suddenly, a small white Pomeranian dog was jumping on her leg. The little fluff ball was thrilled to receive belly rubs and scratches behind the ears. Anna stood and continued her walk down the trail, and her new fluffy buddy bounced down the path with her. "You are so dang cute. What is your name?" Anna asked, not really expecting the dog to answer her. "Her name is Sophie," a male voice answered. Anna turned to see what she believed to be the most beautiful man she had ever seen. He was of average height, but was stocky and muscular. His skin was caramel, and his eyes, oh, his eyes, were forest green. This was a rarity in humans, as the standard eye color was some variation of brown. When he smiled at Anna, her heart skipped a beat. There was something a little sneaky in his grin. She felt he was a mischievous sort, and she liked it. Hi, Anna said. Hi, he mimicked. Anna blushed, flipped her hair over her shoulder, and walked to this amazing-looking man. "Is she yours?" Anna asked. "No, she belongs to the neighbor. I was looking for her. They get worried when she doesn't come back for a while, as you can understand," he said. "Yeah, I guess so," Anna said. "I have never seen you here before," he stated. "I don't come very often, definitely not as often as my mom thinks I should anyway," Anna said. The gentleman stood and extended his hand out in the direction of a beautiful pond. Anna enjoyed his take-charge attitude. He acted as though they were at his home, and he was inviting her to sit. They took their seats on hand-carved Adirondack chairs, placed there so people could enjoy the tranquility of the water. Ducks floated on the pond's surface, and Anna enjoyed watching them. "Do you have a particular donor you are going to find? Then I could help you," he asked. "No, I'm not too particular," Anna answered. She realized how that sounded when it was too late to shove it back into her mouth. She just rolled her eyes and made a low groan, ing sound as if she were in pain. She was in pain because, at that moment, she was sure one could die from embarrassment. "I mean, I don't visit enough to have a regular donor," she stammered. "I knew what you meant," he laughed. Anna quickly tried to change the subject. "So, what do I call you?" she asked. He pointed to the inside of his forearm at a number tattooed there. 22192, he answered. Anna had always expected that answer in the past, but this time it bothered her. She made a mental note of the number for the exit paperwork if she were to need it, but she wanted to know his name. "Don't you have a name?" Anna asked. The man stared at her. Anna could feel confusion in his gaze. "James," he answered. "James? Well, that is a fine, strong name. My name is Anna. Nice to meet you," Anna said. She thought this interaction was strange. It felt like she was talking to a regular person and not a mortal. She decided she would ask him things she had always wanted to know about the farm. Since this was all James knew, he wouldn't be as negative about the experience. Anna had tried early on, but the human she was speaking with had nothing positive to say. It was very depressing to her, and she promised herself she wouldn't ask again. But this was different. James described their living conditions and all the various activities they had. He talked about their jobs and the family units that thrived within the dome. Anna was much more pleased with his description of the farm. Anna spoke freely with James about her project at home. He seemed to be genuinely interested in every detail. She agreed to bring pictures if she visited again. He was thrilled she might. He had always wanted to see what was on the outside, but hadn't had the opportunity. Anna knew down deep that she would return. She felt connected with this man. She would dare to say that a friendship was blossoming between them. "Well, I hate to go, but my mom and I agreed to meet at 4. So, where has the time gone? Anna said. She desperately wanted to feed, but somehow didn't want just to take it from her new friend. Didn't you need to feed? James asked. Anna felt her cheeks redden, and she was suddenly embarrassed by her very nature. Yes, she answered softly. This was the only response she could give. She didn't need to explain or apologize for it, but there was still something uncomfortable about the exchange. Okay, James said. He didn't need to give his permission or anything, so there was no suggestion of the sort. The two stood in silence for what seemed like an hour. Is there something wrong? Do you need someone else? James asked. No, of course not, Anna said. How about you tell me what is most comfortable for you? How would you like me to proceed? Anna asked. James had never been given a choice before, so he thought about it for a second. Finally, he tilted his head to the side and exposed his neck to her. The sweat that rolled down his neck was solely due to the heat of the evening, not any sign of nervousness from him. Anna thought he would prefer the wrist, as it was less intimate, but she was definitely pleased by his decision. Stand or sit? James asked. Stand if you don't mind, Anna answered. She suddenly became aware that she was asking, but she didn't mind. Do you want to take your shirt off, just in case? She asked. He slipped his shirt over his head and laid it on the chair. She was so glad he made that decision. His body was even more perfect than she thought. His stomach was like ripples, and all she wanted to do was move her hand over its ridges. She didn't dare do it, though. James stood perfectly still as she approached him. Yes, she was sure this was nothing new for him. Anna tried to control her beast, but it was trying its best to break free. She moved slowly and cautiously to her new friend. She ran her fingers through his hair and tilted his head to the side to gain better access. She tiptoed just a little, too, nuzzle into his neck with her nose. She breathed in his intoxicating aroma. He smelled like honeysuckle in summer. Anna took his fresh smell of life into herself, and it was overwhelming to her. The way he presented himself to her was like fire in her loins. James was totally calm. Like a man tied to a whipping post, he awaited her mark. He solemnly awaited the pain. His eyes were closed in anticipation. She heard the steady rhythm of his heart. She didn't ever want to hear it any other way. Anna did something she hadn't done in years. Open your eyes, she asked. James did as she asked. You will feel no fear, no pain, Anna said. She stared into the forest green of his eyes for longer than necessary. Finally, she took a moment and did as Renee had done with her. She memorized his face. She moved her finger across his full lips, and he parted them slightly and was totally at peace. Anna moved back to the valley of his neck and nuzzled once again. She felt her fangs extend, and she could wait no longer. She plunged deep into the skin, piercing the vein underneath perfectly. The blood flowed freely into her waiting body. She drank and listened to his heartbeats. An immortal's heart matched the heart of the donor during a feeding. This connection would not change unless the donor was approaching death. Death was definitely not the goal this time. Anna tightened her grip on James's arm as her body began to tremble. She moaned in exquisite pleasure. There was a fine line between sexual pleasure and feeding. Anna was sure her body had crossed that line. As the heartbeat of her willing donor began to slow, Anna knew it was time to stop. She pulled back and found his strong arms wrapped around her. He was holding her up onto her feet. She hadn't realized her knees had given way in the grips of this powerful experience. James had supported her so she could feed. He moved her back to her seat and helped her into it. He sat down beside her. Anna felt silly. She should be helping him, not the other way around. Anna noticed a trickle of blood coming from his wound. She pricked her finger, and a tiny droplet of blood came from it. She moved her finger over the injured area and watched as the healing powers of her blood sealed it. Anna came prepared as she did for everything. She retrieved a bandage from her pocket and placed it securely on the area. Wear this for a day or two so no one tries to feed, okay? Anna said. James nodded in agreement. It was dangerous for a human to be fed on too frequently, and with Anna's healing gift, Another vampire might not know he had just been fed on. I guess I should get going, Anna said. Okay, James said, standing from his chair. I hope you come back this way soon. I mean, if it's agreeable to you, James said. Anna blushed as she stared at the very familiar white rocks on the ground. Yeah, I will. I need to come more often because of Mom and all. She worries too much, Anna said. Can I walk you to the bridge? James asked. Sure, Anna said. Chatter filled the walk back to the bridge. Anna was happy she had come today. The goodbyes were surprisingly difficult. Anna found she really enjoyed her new friend's company. She still believed a friend was a strange title for this man, but she knew it to be true. Anna signed the exit book and placed James's number next to her name. It was exciting to record their interaction, even in this context. Hey, over here, Renee yelled. Hey, you ready? Anna said. I hurried and you just took your sweet time. I have been waiting 47 hours for you, Renee said. She had a way of exaggerating things like time, distance, or how good or bad something was. Anna found it adorable. Renee gathered her water bottle and her snack wrapper and put them in the bin. The two slipped on their gloves and headed home. The rumble of the Harley sent waves of excitement through Anna's body. She smiled as she realized it was the same excitement she felt with James as he had held her close while she fed. The ride was pleasant, and Anna was euphoric. You look so much better, baby, Renee said. I feel better too. I think you were right. I need to feed more, I think. You go once a week, don't you? Anna asked. Sometimes more. You just can't feed on the same donor more than once, but you can go as often as you like, Renee said. Anna tried to act all innocent about the whole thing, but she saw Renee's expression soften a little bit. I need a regular donor like you do. I don't want to have to find someone new all the time. That seems exhausting, Anna said. Oh yeah, I don't think I would care for that either. It is hard enough to find regular people you can stand to be around, let alone a human. My donor and I have a lot of fun together. It's not all about feeding Anna, Renee said. Renee left it right there. She didn't need to explain herself to her grown daughter. She was sure she got her meaning. Anna just looked at her for a second and giggled. You are a nut, Mom, Anna said. The rest of the evening was peaceful. Anna and Renee skipped the evening dinner with the group and chose a quiet night at home. They watched a movie and ate ice cream, donuts, and popcorn. That was another perk of being a vampire, no counting calories. You are always fit and trim and wonderfully attractive, no matter how much cake you ate. Anna was tired from her busy day and decided to turn in for the night. She kissed her mom, thanked her for her pushy ways, and headed to bed. The moment she closed her eyes, all she could see was James's beautiful eyes. She tossed and turned, trying to free herself of his intrusion into her dream, but to no avail. Sleep finally won the battle, and she drifted off. Is this the beginning of something? We will find out next time. Until then, bye for now.